You do not know where you are. You do not know who you are. You do not know why you are. You do not know how you are. How did you come into existence? How do you exist right now? How do you know you exist right now? How do you know any of this is real? What proof do you have outside of this experience? Outside of what your senses tell you and what your mind creates out of that? The image your mind creates has nothing to do with what the senses are experiencing. The senses have their experience that is fed into this mind, which has been fed all of this knowledge. It is only because of the knowledge that your mind has been fed that you are able to look at something and see something and see that object and see the word that you have placed upon that. Would that thing exist without you having knowledge of it being a thing that exists? For you, I'm saying, for you, would that exist? Would it be a separate object? If you had no knowledge of any of the objects of the world, how would you see it? You wouldn't have the words. You wouldn't be able to even define the separation. The separation only exists as knowledge in the mind. The senses are giving stimuli. The senses are not giving you that this is this and this is this. That is all based upon knowledge that you have been given. And then I want to ask you, why are you reliant upon, trusting in the knowledge you have been given to tell you what this is, to tell you who you are, where you come from, how you exist? In fact, these very questions only exist in your mind because they've been given to you. Because of the knowledge you've been given, you have these questions. And you even already have answers to all these questions. You have answers to all these questions. Yet you continue to ask them, and ask every new spiritual teacher to tell you what they think, what they experience. And all of this done searching with this tool of mind, with this mechanism of mind. All part of the mind mechanism's game. So your entire spiritual search too is all roped up in a mental game. There is no spiritual search. This is just words. There is no enlightenment for you. The mind doesn't become enlightened. Enlightenment is a fancy word. To say that the mind persona stops, ceases. So then what is left? Can't be defined. Can't have a word put upon it because there's no person to experience it. You understand? There's no person left to experience. It is the end of all experience. And as people entirely fixated in mind and the mental realm, this is terrifying for us to hear. It's terrifying for you to hear that the end of experience is when you actually start to live. Because experience is all happening in a dead world. In the graveyard of mind, which is past. It's done. It never happened. But it'll keep you fixated on it, as if that's where the action is. But you don't live in the mind. There is no life in the mind. It's not there. It's nothing but vibration. Nothing to do with it. Just a process. The process is taking place until it stops. Till it works itself out. There's no telling what's going to cause that, what's going to catalyze that for you. No spiritual teacher has the answer for you, telling you that this is the way, this is the way, this is the way. There's no one path, there's no one practice. You could say all ways lead to the same place. You can say the way is the way, that it's happening for you. But there is no one way for everybody, certain set steps, process to get there. That's cultural, that's mental. The questions about who we are and what we are, where we come from, drive the separate questioner. It's because you have the questions, it's because you're not satisfied with life as it is, and you have all these wants to somehow change life as it is, that you have these questions, you're trying to get somewhere. And the questions are creating the you who's trying to get somewhere. Without the questions, without the need for the spiritual search, without the need to get somewhere, to unite, to merge with this God self, which also is a fabrication. We glorify all of it. And there is perhaps a beauty in that. But it doesn't need to be glorified. What you need to understand is the natural intelligence doesn't care about the mind's wants. And the mind's wants and desires for pleasure lead to all of its pain and suffering. The body is intelligent and knows how to handle pain. It knows how to move the pain naturally. But you hold on to it and try to control it and do all these fancy techniques to try and process it, which really is suppressing it. You don't actually let that pain move the way it needs to, and you cause yourself this mental agony and suffering and misery. There's no way out for this ego. It is hopeless. It is entirely hopeless. Any attempts to free yourself are that very self trying to free itself. This is what keeps you caught. Because you create the self that you're trying to be free of in the effort to be free of it. And you use the knowledge that you have from this world to justify, to back up. And this keeps you limited, it keeps you fearful, afraid, like a caged animal, unable to truly act naturally. Not even act naturally, just be naturally what you are. That's always what it's been about. This pure authenticity, which isn't based upon mental knowledge. It is pure intelligence without a person controlling it. This is what we already are. You already are free. But imposing a spiritual search and journey upon you is now keeping you chained. So break free from even that. That is another trap. It's another construct. And people get lost in that for years and elevate their spiritual ego. But there's no real progress, no real change, no real transformation there. It's the same thing, just expressing in a different way. The same struggle, really. So to be truly free of it, you have to realize there's nothing to be free of. There's nothing to add, nothing to seek, no teacher who has the answer for you. You know. You're looking for permission, you're looking for someone to affirm what you already know. And there is no what are you waiting for either. It's all moving naturally. To mentally understand this is one thing, to live it cannot be forced. We're afraid to step into the deep water. But nobody can push us in. And we can't even make that choice. Because it's even an illusion that I'm deciding anything. I can't even make that choice. Definitely cannot make that choice for somebody else. There's no telling of what will catalyze that to occur. So in the time being, be natural. Be yourself. Not what anybody told you to be. Be in love, be in joy, be in service. Love yourself fully. See, whatever works for you, works for you. Take what I say and move on. Take whatever is useful and move on. Maybe none of it's useful. I don't have any answers for you. This is a reflection of the collective. May it serve whatever purpose it is meant for.